What is up, all you beautiful people? What is up, the Umbrella Gang? It is I, AkemiTCG, back here with a brand new video. It is that time of the year. 3 or 4 times a year, I get roasted in the comments. Extreme dislike to like ratio because it is time for the ban list prediction. I have to do one of these, you know. Everybody's got their opinion on how the ban list should be run, and obviously I have my own opinions as well. As a heads up, this is an opinion, this is a prediction video, this is not a wishlist video. This is what I expect Konami to do based on, you know, the new sets coming out, how much money they're going to be making, or how they're going to push out the current sets. So without further ado, I know people say that a lot, we're going to get right into this. So, first thing is ABC Dragon Buster. Now look at ABC Dragon Buster, they're not really doing much, even though it was limited, then semi-limited, not really doing much. And basically the reason why it got semi-limited or limited in the first place was because you could just summon A, B, and C, link off into, let's say, a Nightmare Unicorn, use Unicorn's effect, and then you can still banish your 3 ABC to summon ABC Dragon Buster. And that's probably the main reason why it was hit. It was pretty much abused in a lot of Firewall Dragon deck, but now we don't have Firewall Dragon anymore. We do not have the Gumblar, Topologic Gumblar anymore, so I can see ABC being back at 3. Plus, it's good for all of you guys who's playing the ABC deck because it's pretty fun, especially with Photon Orbital. We're most likely gonna get a reprint of it in February for the new Dragons of Legend, or rather Legendary Duelist Season 2 reprint. On to the next card, Robot Buster Destruction Sword. Basically, the most main hit with Union Carrier is find a dark, sometimes it's the Savage Dragon, sometimes it's the different dark, and equip it with Robot Buster Destruction Sword, and now your opponent is locked into their extra deck. So even when you get Dark Ruler No More, which does happen with a lot of combo decks, they're like, okay, you Dark Ruler No More me, can you still break my board? By either A, getting rid of my Robot Buster Destruction Sword, or B, not doing anything with your extra deck. With Dinos, it's pretty easy. You just summon UCT and then you do your thing. But if you're not playing Dinos, it becomes pretty hard to do, and it's a pretty devastating lock. So I'm gonna put this at banned. That's just how it's gonna be. Thunder Dragon Colossus is gonna be probably one of the most controversial cards I will talk about, and I think it was a nightmare to deal with that 3. During Thunder Dragon format, you know, they summon 2 Colossus with a Titan, and you're just like, well, can't really do much because I don't main Super Poly or have an out to that. But I feel that even when Colossus is at 1, I don't think it's going to be too brutal. I know you can splash in your Thunder Dragon Dot Engine and a lot of the 3 Axis decks, but we don't have Abe the World, Chalice, Justicar anymore. We can still play it in possibly some variant of Dragon Link or Axis combo, but with it being at 1, I don't feel like it's gonna be too crazy strong, so Colossus should be at 1. Especially since, you know, Virtual World, they don't really search way too much, they just summon stuff from their main deck and then just do their thing. I could be incorrect about that though. Zodiac Dryden. So here's my theory on Zodiac Dryden, okay? So, one well-timed Ice Dragon's Prison on a Zodiac player, especially with their Trident, will destroy the deck, inevitably, unless they somehow make it back with Zeus, but by the time that happens, you're probably already in a really bad situation since you don't have an extra pop with Trident. Trident is the main combo starter in the Zodiac deck. If you want to make the whole Mega Clock combo, you need to go into Trident if you want to do it the 1-card combo way with Rapier. But basically, Trident is the main interruption. I can see it being at 2, and I know this is gonna sound controversial because they're like, Akemi, why don't they just summon 2 Tridents? Now they have 2 interruptions. I feel like a lot of decks can do a lot more than 2 interruptions, a lot of combo decks. But let's say they leave Trident at 1. I can see Zodiac Barrage going to 2 instead. So right now, I see Trident going to 2. Also, they do want to push out, you know, the maximum goal. They do want to sell out as much of that as possible, and also promote Negalo Zeus with Phantom Rage. So also, if Trident goes to 2, then they're gonna push out that Phantom Rage quicker, because Phantom Rage, quite honestly, as a set, is tanking pretty darn hard. So I can see Trident or at least Barrage going to 2. Barrage being more likely than Dryden, but you know, we can pray. Isolde. Recently, when I went to the online tournament, the online regionals, I dueled against this Warrior FTK deck. It was probably the most intriguing deck I've ever dueled against because he pretty much summoned, used Isolde, abused Violent Cube, and used Rapodicus with Cyberstain to change Cyberstain into a Psychic, then used the Psychic spell equip card to make it so he doesn't have to pay any life points to summon any monsters with Cyberstain. So he literally summoned 3 of the Blaze Phoenix, and I died from that. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wait, you know, Isolde is so critical to all these Warrior FTK combos, and I feel like hitting it to 1 is the correct play. Because what a lot of people tend to do is they're like, oh, we don't want you to search this card in your hand, Isolde's first effect. That's not as brutal as the second effect. The second effect's more brutal. But let's say they negate just the first effect. They're like, okay, you negated the first effect, I'm going to use an extender, Fireflint Lady, go into a second Isolde, and then try to activate the second effect now. And I feel like that's a big issue with the deck. I know the deck can function with 1 Isolde. When I'm saying the deck, I mean Isolde. I mean, what is it? Infernobles, but nonetheless, I feel like it should be hit to 1. It's just an extremely good card. You get a lot of pluses, especially with the Phoenix Blade, the Smoke Grenade, and all the shenanigans. It's a really good card, and I feel like it should be hit. Maxx. We're always gonna talk about Maxx in legitimately every single ban list until it comes back to 3. And do I think it's gonna come back to 3? I think it will not. And let me explain. Okay, hold on. Before y'all start disliking like crazy, let me explain. Right now, since Call by the Grave just got hit to 1, the format is slowly shifting towards less combo and slightly more control. I know, like, everybody's like, oh, well, Dragon Link is the best deck, but there is a chance the LP could get hit. But nonetheless, if Konami wants to push out more combo decks, they will not bring Maxx to 3. Maxx kills combo decks. This is the reason why combo decks generally do not top or do well in Japan. Like, look at the meta list and look at the majority of what people are playing are not really combo. And if it is combo, they're somehow yeeting around Maxx. But for us, right now, we do not have Crossout Designator. Call by the Grave is still at 1. We have Nibiru, we have Dementia Shifter, we have Dark Ruler no more. We have so many ways to get around combo. Maxx has more ammunition in their tank for anti-combo players. So I feel like it can definitely stay banned probably forever, because effectively, this shuts down a lot of turns for a lot of players because we're maining so many hand traps now. One of my main decks, I'm maining 10 hand traps, then I'm literally setting in 4 more as we go. So we're maining 14 hand traps. And that's a little bit overkill, but with Maxx, everybody's going to be playing 3 Maxx. That's just how it's going to be. I don't think they're going to unban it unless they reprint it again. That's how I see my perspective on it. Feel free to disagree in the comments, completely fine. Anyways, if you're enjoying the ban list prediction, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. That'd be epic. Magical Meltdown is the next controversial card. So, with any invoked engine, we have literally Alistar, Magical Meltdown, so that's 6 cards already in Terraforming. So that's 7 cards in the whole invocation engine to somehow search Alistar the Invoker, which, you know, kickstarts everything. It's very consistent. Invoke Dogmatica is probably the most consistent deck I've ever played in my entire life. No question about it. I mean, I have a couple bad hands here and there, but every single deck has bad hands. Meltdown can definitely either be limited or semi-limited, and I feel like it's going to be more in the limited category, just because they've reprinted all the invocation stuff, or rather the invoke stuff, for a while now. We literally just got a reprint of Meltdown again in the maximum gold package. We just need another reprinted invocation, and this whole engine would be a stupid budget, but this would be, in my opinion, what they would hit. Similarly to how Terraforming was hit. I know Terraforming is more generic and can search any field spell, but if Konami wants to hit the whole Alistar package, so they're like, oh, we want less and less people to play, you know, Invoke.Magica or Invoke.Deck, then Meltdown would be the hits for that. Do I feel like this will happen? Probably not. Do I predict that it will happen? Yeah. Miscellaneousaurus. From my understanding, Miscellaneousaurus, any Dino player doesn't want this to get hit because they're like, oh, you can just Ash the Miss, you can just Gamma the Miss, you can hit the miss with what is it, Skullmeister. You can hit it with Ghost Spell. You hit it with any hand trap in the book that has anything to do with the graveyard. But the problem, my personal problem with the card, is it protects all of your dinos. They summon Oviraptor, you can have like 4 or 5 hand traps in the hand, right? And the moment you drop a hand trap, they're like, miss. Then they're like, okay. Now all of your hand traps are invalid and they can just keep going off. And not only that, miss is a combo starter for the whole deck. You literally drop miss, banish the miss, summon Archosaur, and you literally go on with your day in the deck. And there's so many ways to search for miss. We do have Fossil Dig, we have Oviraptor. That it's a very problematic card, in my opinion. Even if you're going first and like you make a board, you pass to your opponent, you still have UCT on the field, your opponent tries to do something to the UCT, if you had another miss in hand, you could just drop it and be like, okay, I'm protecting my UCT for this whole main phase, and I'm gonna flip all your monsters face down. So when you go to battle phase, nothing's gonna happen. I feel that it's such a strong card in the meta. such a strong card, and I strongly feel it will get limited. That's just how I see it. Mystic Mine, not gonna lie, as of recent, a lot more people are maining, spell trap removal because there's more stronger floodgates in the game, or even stronger traps like Ice Dragon's Prison. So I honestly feel like this can be limited, just for the sheer fact that I don't want to see it being used in a deck, as in its own deck. I don't want to see Mystic Mine deck. I don't feel like it's fun for you to play against your opponent. When they say like, oh, good game, bro, but you say, I didn't have fun though. I didn't have a good game, I didn't have fun. So Mystic Mine is a prime example of a card that pretty much just stalls out the game for time, especially if you're doing remote duels. It's becomes very frequent that people are putting Mine into the side deck. I personally play it myself, but I feel like this card is very unhealthy for the game. Quick Launch, not a once return, free special summon from the deck, and it's a quick play spell. Limited. If it had a hard once per turn clause, I'm pretty sure this card can stay at 3, but it's a very, very, very good card because it's just like, okay, free deck thinning, free summon for deck, and also protect yourself from dying. Just a good card. Red MD with the new errata, not much to talk about this. It could be a 3. The errata is extremely strong, especially considering that LP is probably going to get hit. I did forget to put LP on this list, but LP will probably get banned, and even then, Dragon Link could still play without LP. So, to us, all good. Since Red MD's effect is now a hard once per turn, it could be at 3, and honestly, being at 3 would be a consistency neg for a lot of decks because you'd be drawing into it, and you're like, I don't need this card right now. Smoke Grenade of the Thief banned simply because Infernos, they use this as the end of their combo. This is like, I made this whole board, Charles, Savage, Herald, and I'm gonna rip a card out of your hand. Out of this already oppressive board, I'm ripping a card out of your hand. And on the next turn, depending on how you opened for Charles, you can even use it again during main phase. You can use Smoke Grenade again during main phase. So now your opponent has, what, they start with 6, and now they have 4 cards to try to break your board, and you have a Savage and a Herald, so that's 2 more negates. So you best believe that your 2 last cards out of your 2 other cards that just got negated are really good. So I feel the Smoke Grenade is just extremely unhealthy for the deck. Infernobles are still really good without Smoke Grenade anyways, but it's a very integral part of the combo, and I think it's very, very strong. Totally awesome, can go to 3. The card's a little bit too slow right now, and quite frankly, most decks just have an out to it, either with Droplet or even a really well-timed evenly matched after you bait out everything can kill Paleos really hard. True King of all calamities, man. It's a card that promotes not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the same idea with Utopic Zexo, it literally promotes not being able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I feel like these cards are just extremely unhealthy. I know with Utopic Zexo, you can make it with Numeron, and on occasion, sometimes you just don't have the hand traps to counter Numeron. So if you play against the random, tier 2 rogue Numeron player that plays Utopic Zexo, and you just happen to not draw into hand traps, you're set up to lose. That's just what happens, you just lose. and I feel that's unhealthy. And same thing with True King of All Calamities. I know Virtual World can abuse it. They can just choose not to go into it by just going Shenshen and just leaving Shenshen on the field as a Dark Claw, and that hurts a lot of decks already. But True King of All Calamities says that, well, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Not just for 1 turn, but for 2 turns. And that sucks. That really does suck. Anyways, that is all I have for my ban list predictions. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I am AkemiTCG. Let me know down below. I do want to encourage, you know, everything. Try to keep it civil in the comments. I don't want to get destroyed for this. I probably will get destroyed for this kind of list, but it's to us all good. To us in good fun. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
The world ends now.